What is going on, Minties? The Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition. And today, I'm going to do a list of my top 20 most wanted DC Absolute editions. This is part 1 of 2, because as you all know, I like to go on long. So I'm going to try to make this into 2 parts and talk just a little bit about the books and what I would contain. As you all know, the DC Absolute Editions are these wonderful oversized hardcovers, whether they focus on great art and great stories or just great artwork. So join me! Now, before we get started, I'd like to say a quick word from our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you Minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And welcome back, Minties. Now, before we get started on this list, I again wanted to stress that this is just my list. This is just my opinion. Everybody's different. I'd love to know what you all would include in your top 20, but this is not a countdown, by the way. This is my first 10, and then I'll do the next 10 the next week. So if you want to wait to comment on that video, please do so. If not, you can more than welcome to comment on this video, at least with your top 10. We'll probably also leave it on our Facebook group. That's at Near Mint Con if you haven't joined yet. So you all could leave those answers there. Now, again, the Absolutes started as these oversized, beautiful, the way to own your favorite stories kind of editions. And they all come in this nice little slipcase, and they're all hardcover. Some of them look like they're leather bound, like the SANDMAN book. And what's very important to note about these, though, is that not only is it just great stories, but also great artwork, such as the case of Wildcats. So you'll see in my list here why I've chosen some of this. Now, the first one, the one I'm going to go with first, this probably will turn some of you away. But again, my list, Batman Year 2. That's right. I'm one of these guys that thinks Year 1 is so overrated. I always have, ever since I was a kid, and I never understood why Year 2 didn't get as much love. So, collecting Detective Comics 575 through 578, and Batman Full Circle, the graphic novel. This is Mike W. Barr with artwork by Todd McFarlane. I mean, look at this is awesome stuff. And not only Todd McFarlane, but also Alan Davis. How could I not want this in oversized format? This would be an amazing book to own. And it's back in continuity, I think. Number 2, Wonder Woman, The ARTEMIS Saga by William Messner Loebs and Mike Deodato Jr. Now, William Messner Loebs and Mike Deodato Jr., I said before in my Most Wanted DC Omnis, I want a William Messner Loebs omnibus. But I think Deodato Jr.'s artwork would benefit, because I want to see that in absolute format. I want to see it in oversized format. Because this is back during the 90s when he was going through that Jim Lee phase. And part of me enjoys that. And collecting Wonder Woman 90 through 100 and the ARTEMIS series 1 through 6. And you have these gorgeous Brian Boland covers too. Number 3, Pride of Baghdad. This is the Vertigo book. It was a graphic novel released in standard hardcover, trade paperback, and a deluxe edition. But I think it's time that we get Brian K. Vaughan's and Nico Henriksen's, oh my goodness, sorry, Nico, Pride of Baghdad in an oversized absolute format. The artwork in here is absolutely gorgeous. If you've never read it, do yourself a favor and find it and read it. It is beautiful and a great, heartbreaking story. It's only 168 pages, that's what the deluxe is, but I think with an absolute, we can do a lot more. We can put a bunch of extras in there. Number 4, Tom Strong. This is Alan Moore. I'm surprised we don't have this yet. Alan Moore and Chris Sprouse. I want all 36 issues, so probably more than likely 2 of these absolute, especially if they include the 36 issues. These Tom Strong's Terrific Tales, Terra Obscura, and one-shots, many worlds of Tesla Strong, and then the limited series, Tom Strong and the Planet of Peril. All of that collected. I think 2 absolutes would work. Oh, man. An absolute or an omnibus of this. Please, DC. Sandman Mystery Theater. This is the classic run from the 90s, written by Mad Wagner and Steven Seagal, took over eventually, with some phenomenal artwork, mainly by Guy Davis, Vince Locke, and Warren Pleece. It ran for 70 issues and I think 1 annual, but between 1993 and 1999, these are some of the best stories ever told about the Golden Age Sandman, Wesley Dodd. They were phenomenal, they were noirish, they were great. I know there's trade paperbacks available, but I think absolute editions would be just as awesome. Probably more so than an omnibus to go along with my Sandman absolutes. Number 6. So I spoke of artwork, right? I spoke that I enjoy oversized artwork, mainly why I got this. No offense to Brandon Choi, who also wrote this book. Gen 13. Jeffrey Scott Campbell, some of his earlier work. This is mid 90s all the way to late 90s. So I would collect the miniseries and then the ongoing 1 through probably issue 20, which is the final Jeffrey Scott Campbell issue. But just oversized Jeffrey Scott Campbell artwork. And then you have the 13 variant covers for Gen 13, number 13. I always thought that was a pretty cool gimmick. And hey, now comic books have more than 13 variants. I'd like to take this time to remind you to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We are also on Redbubble, where you can get our logo on stickers, t-shirts. So, thank you for watching. Number 7, Superman for All Seasons. This is the 4-issue series from 1998. They were written by Jeff Loeb and artwork by Tim Sale. And honestly, just about everything by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale is an absolute format. So, let's make this little chubby Superman happen. I mean, that's adorable. Yeah, probably not the best way to describe Superman. One that I'm very surprised we don't have yet, Absolute We 3. This might be a smaller one because it's a 3-issue limited series. It's probably about 144 pages. There's a trade paperback, a deluxe edition. One of the best stories, though, by the team of Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly. So, the same guys that did New X-Men, All-Star Superman, which we already have in absolute format. Number 9. So here's a series that I don't hear enough people talk about. This is Leave It to Chance. This is by James Robinson and Paul Smith. Not the only time you're going to see those names on the list, by the way. I don't hear enough talk about this. And honestly, I don't even know if the rights belong to DC or Image or Wildstorm anymore. But I'd love to have all 13 issues of this series collected just once and for all in an absolute format. Maybe Paul Smith, oversized format. And the last one for this part. Remember, there's going to be a part 2, a follow-up to this. Mr. Miracle, of course, by Tom King and Mitch Gerard. This is the same guy that did... I know how people feel about his Batman run, and I know there's a huge negativity wave for Heroes in Crisis. Rightly so, by the way. And actually, Heroes in Crisis would make a really good absolute because of Clayman's artwork. But anyway, back to this. This is the 12-issue maxi series. It was just wonderful to read, and Gerard's artwork would benefit from this format here, especially when you have the 9 panels that he draws on. I think it would be awesome to have it in oversized format. And I'm surprised we only got a standard hardcover. We didn't get an oversized deluxe edition, but hey, whatever. Maybe they are planning an absolute. I don't know. It's DC. So, that is my first top 10. Join me for part 2 sometime next week as we talk about the next 10. And I'd love to know what you would include in your first 10 most wanted absolute formats and see if you're going to find them in the next part. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. We are also on Patreon if you enjoy the content of this channel and you want to check us out there and support the channel that way. That would be awesome. And thank you to our existing patrons. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint.